folks, welcome to Barry's Bench. Today we're going to be talking about my Owen 30 project and looking at the first building that I'm working on, which is going to be a pizza shop. This is a Clever Models kit that once was a hot dog stand. The whole idea here is to repurpose signage and everything and make it look the way we want it. So we're going to start out with just covering some of the tools that are necessary here to do what I do with the cardboard model kits. No, here we have our standard cutting mat. We won't use that for this. What we actually will use would be a glass cutting board. Yeah, so just make sure the one I got had a textured side, so make sure that you use the non-textured side for cutting. It makes the cuts a lot cleaner and more accurate. And we'll also need a nice set of X-Acto blades, a nice steel rule, plenty of X-Acto blades. Buy them by the 100 pack off of Amazon. Good one will be number 11s and number 17 chisel blades too. So here is the Clever model kit we're going to be building. This is the O-scale Skippy's hot dog. Here's our walls and floor, roof details. And there's some pieces there to go in the front door and some of the signage as well. Now the signage, we're going to replace and turn this into a pizza shop. We're looking to backlight the interior sign and the exterior sign as well. So the first one we'll start cutting on here is the walls for the building. And another good set of tools you need here is a set of colored pencils. Don't be anything expensive, but when you cut the edge of the cardboard, it leaves a white line showing, so you want to use a matching colored pencil to just color the edge of it so it doesn't show through once the building's glued together. So we're going to start with the old trusty number 11 blade and the number 1 handle there. And there's the chisel blade there you can use for cutting out windows and doors to get a nice square, clean edge. And first thing, let's replace the blade with a brand fresh new one. Like I said earlier, you can buy them in local hobby shops in bulk or off of Amazon. I like to buy mine through Amazon. So we're ready to start cutting here. Let's grab our rule. Yeah, I usually start by putting the blade on the edge of the line I want to cut and line the roller up, and then just drag the blade a few times to make a clean cut. Just give it a little lift with your finger to make sure it's cut all the way through. And then line up the edges there on the tabs and cut them on the diagonal. It really is a great idea to have a fresh blade every time you start, because it's very important that you have nice, clean, crisp edges for gluing together, and also when you color it so there's no leftover pieces behind. And we get nice sharp corners when they're glued. So we'll just continue cutting out all the different pieces on here. There's some flashing on the corner there that goes around the raised front. Yeah, when you're doing some of these detail cuts, sometimes you line up the roller before you actually make your cut. Other times, if they're small enough, you can go in and make the cut by hand. Yes, there's a little tab on that piece of flashing, so I'm just going to freehand that. And once again, we're going to pick it up, check, make sure we got all the corners cut right. Nice and clean cuts. There again, for the long edge, place your knife against the line to cut. Line up your steel ruler. And keep the blade up against the rule. Just a few nice drags. Cut right through. And these kits assemble really nicely and have a lot of detail to them. As we go along, I'll explain some tricks that we do to make them look a little more realistic and a little three-dimensional. And here's the final edge on it. I cut the last edge of the tab there. And there we have our first wall section. Yeah, so when you flip the piece over to make your bends, you can take the back edge of your X-Acto blade, line up where the fold line is, and just stroke it a few times. That helps you get a nice sharper bend on it. Just take the edge of your blade and help lift it up and then bend it against the rule. I usually take the end of the blade handle and just rub it along the edge of the roller just to give it a nice sharp crease to the bend. I go back and just crease it good with my fingers to make sure it's a nice sharp bend. Now here we're just going to speed through some of the rest of the cutting and bending, and then we have all the walls cut now and the floor. So there we kind of line the walls and the floor up to show you what the rough structure is going to look like. I have the end wall. And there you go. There's the basic shell of the future pizza shop. So I still have more parts to cut out, like the whole interior. The front door is a typical metal framed glass windows and doors. So hope to see you guys in the next episode. Take care.